found out a bit of somewhat unfortunate trivia because it stirred up some unfortunate memories of the single most disappointing movie that I have ever seen in a theater in my life. Film that I had been looking forward to since it was first announced, and it got enough good reviews where I thought that there was a reasonable chance I was going to like it, and I saw it and I fucking hated it. In the immortal words of Roger Ebert, I hated this movie. 25 years ago today, on July 2nd, 1999, a filmmaker I very much admire, big New York guy, Spike Lee, released Summer of Sam, which is, it sounded so good on paper. It's the summer that David Berkowitz, the son of Sam Killer, everybody was petrified. The Yankees ended up winning the World Series for the first time in 15 years. The pieces were in place for a great movie, and I don't know what happened, but Summer of Sam ain't it. And in the illustrious movie-going, cinema-going life that I have enjoyed, first movie I ever saw in theaters, Bugsy Malone, when I was 2. The angriest I ever walked out of a theater was Summer of Sam, where the film, the first 10, 15 minutes, it was okay. I didn't have an issue with John Leguizamo, even though he was impossibly miscast. But I understood why they cast him. And Spike, there were a lot of other people. Supposedly at one point, DiCaprio was involved in talks because this was after Titanic. I'm glad he didn't make this movie. The movie, it's bad. The performances are not good, except Adrien Brody. Adrien Brody is phenomenal. Michael Rispoli is just okay. Jennifer Esposito, just okay. And big-time guys like Ben Gazzara in small roles. It's just not good. And there are so many things as I'm watching that movie that were wrong. And I'm like, okay, this is no good. This is no good. This is no good. This is no good. I didn't understand the John Leguizamo character at all. The problem wasn't his performance. The guy's through line was completely absurd. And it was just didn't work. I love Mira Sorvino. Her character was preposterous. It's just, there were so many things wrong with that movie. And where I was duped, if you want to say that I was duped, I, generally speaking, agreed and ended up on the same wavelength as Roger Ebert. And Roger Ebert really liked Summer of Sam. And it was his review that convinced me to give the movie a shot, because my dad wanted to see it, but I just wasn't thinking it was going to be good. And then when I read Ebert's review, because the reviews were kind of mixed, it didn't get horrendous reviews, but the reviews were mixed. But Roger Ebert giving it 3.5 stars and talking about how the film had a vibrancy and energy and electricity to it. Okay, let's go see it, Dad. And he thought the same thing. Like, if the film had gotten trashed by every critic he liked, he wouldn't have bothered. But walking out of the theater at the end, I was almost apoplectic. There have been plenty of movies where I was bitterly disappointed, but I don't remember ever being as angry as I was leaving the theater that night after seeing Summer of Sam. And 1999 in general is a great year for movies. And I had a couple of years ago kind of a humorous back and forth with an author named Brian Raftery, who wrote a book about 1999 cinema, Hollywood cinema in particular, and how, in his estimation, it's the single greatest year for Hollywood ever. Not just because there were so many great films, but because there were films that pushed the envelope and that changed the game, such as Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, for better or worse, such as The Blair Witch Project, such as American Beauty, such as The Matrix, such as The Sixth Sense. And I can go on and on. The Blair Witch Project opened, I think, well, now that I'm thinking about it, exactly 4 weeks later. It opened on July 30th. You see, when you have the neurodivergent brain, these things sometimes click, the synapses connect, and all of a sudden you say, hey, It's possible there were 5 Fridays in July of 1999, and I guess there were. You know? I thought he killed you. Well, I'm standing here. I guess he didn't. You know? Summer of Sam, though. There was so much wrong with it. And even thinking about it now, it's the answer to a personal trivia question. What is the most... Oh, okay, no. Let me phrase it better. The film that I was most looking forward to, which turned out to be a crushing disappointment. Because we all have movies, we're excited, it's not that good. When I saw Jordan Peele's Nope, which didn't get quite the critical reception, not Nope, I'm sorry, Us. It didn't get quite the critical reception as Get Out, but enough critics I respected thought that Us was great. I saw it and it was all bad, horrendous. Brilliant concept, movie's terrible. Nope was better. Don't love that, but it was better. But that's different because I was not looking forward to it. I was not actively like, oh, I can't wait to see Us. Oh, this is good. It was just disappointing. But when you go, as long as I went for like a year and a half looking forward to Spike Lee's Summer of Sam, and then to have it where Roger Ebert, who I normally always agreed with, he thought it was bad. He loved it. And then for it to be so catastrophically bad, how I perceived it. No good. 25 years ago to the day, Spike Lee's Summer of Sam. And I'm sure some of you out there probably like it. I've had conversations, remember at Bev's gym on the elliptical or just working out when the movie came up. I don't remember anybody hating it as much as I did. Sometimes you just have an idea it's going to be a different movie. It doesn't go into the Son of Sam at all. He's not even really a character. John Turturro as the voice of a dog. That was like the highlight of the film. That had me screaming with laughter. But other than that, movie was lousy. So that's the answer to a question. And I want you all to think about this because it is, I think it's interesting. And I love asking this question of other people. What is a movie that you did not want to see, that you were either dragged to kicking and screaming, or in your head, I'm taking one for the team, but there's no way I'm going to like this, and you ended up loving it? In my case, the answer, as some of you already know, to that question is Chariots of Fire, which my parents took me to at age 7, almost literally kicking and screaming on the way to the movie theater, and it's still my #1 favorite movie of all time. But the opposite, the converse, is it a contrapositive? But Summer of Sam is a film that I had been looking forward to that catastrophically bad. Unfortunate, but it's true. And as I said, I really like Spike Lee. I think Do the Right Thing is a near masterpiece. And there are so many of his other movies that I really enjoyed. Crooklyn is terrific. Sorry, I got to pick up this. Found it. No, Crooklyn is really good, and She's Gotta Have It, although I have issues with it. It's a classic. I didn't see Miracle at St. Anna. I really like Clockers. Yeah, Clockers was a good movie. So yeah, Spike Lee for me is more good than bad, but Summer of Sam is the worst film of his that I've ever seen by a humongous margin. Malcolm X, big fan of. Tough movie. I don't think I'd ever watch it again. As a long slog, but a great film. But yeah, unhappy 25th anniversary to the release of Spike Lee's Summer of Sam.